Hi, how are you? I'm Maria Caballero. I play Luz in the First Omen. It's coming in theaters on the 5th of April. And here I am watching pop culture. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, take care.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I am so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today I'm talking to Maria Caballero, who stars in The First Omen, which is coming out this next week. So excited to be talking to you, Maria. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So I thought I was looking at like some of your previous work and this being like one of your first big projects like in the horror genre. I wanted to ask you what was kind of your relationship with horror prior to working on The First Omen?
I'd say it's a pretty early one because, when I was very young, I was watching Dracula with my dad because we had that video at my home. So I really loved that movie, and I think it felt like a sacred thing to me in terms of what the horror means. I also really loved enjoying and enjoyed watching The Omen for the first time, thanks to this movie. So I love the genre. It is true that I love it more when it goes into a psychological thriller space. But yeah, I do love it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot you can do with the horror genre, all bunch
Yeah.
of different subgenres. And I mean, Dracula, I grew up on the classic monster movies. Those were some of the first horror movies that I watched as a kid too. So that's pretty cool to hear. Where
Yeah.
this was like one of your first big like horror movie projects, what was it that really drew you to that role initially?
To this role in the first Omen, you mean?
Yeah,
I
yep.
mean, everything about it, it's just mm, the script was amazing when I read it. I felt like I really connected with what we were talking about with the themes. They're so existential. They have such an ethical magnitude to them. And also my character, which I think it's a gift for an actress because it has, well, a lot of layers and psychological depth to her that I really enjoy. Also, the fact of, being part of the Omen franchise, it's just in itself mind blowing. So
Oh
it
yeah.
was all a yes. It was never a no. I didn't have any question about it, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a classic franchise for sure. Now, as far
Yeah.
as what can you obviously without like any spoilers, what can you tell us about your character and just kind of getting into the mindset of playing her for this film?
So my character is a novitiate that's going to turn into a nun very soon. She's got a very difficult life. She's went through a hard time finding her place in the world, which she did find in the church. And so she'll do anything to protect that space, that place. And she's a really believer. She, she's felt into it. She fell into this Catholic Church thing, and there's no way she's going to turn away from them. I really appreciate working on this character because it also made me understand how like a good a good intention can turn into such a horror pursuit. It's really interesting to understand the power of ideas, and I feel like with this movie we talk about that.
I'm so excited. Everything that I've seen from like the trailers and just the early
Yeah.
reactions. You guys had the premiere or whatever, and just some of the reactions coming out of the film so far are great. So it's like one of my most anticipated horror movies for the year. This was Arkasha Stevenson's feature directorial debut. Can you just talk about the experience of like working with her and helping bring her vision to the big screen?
Well, I only have like amazing words about her. She's incredible. She has a very special sensitiveness and also like a weird vision sometimes. Like she would have these ideas that maybe when you hear about them, you don't maybe get them, and then you see it on the big screen and you're like, of course, you know. So she's a creator. Sometimes instead it will feel like she was a craftswoman in a way. I don't know if this is the right word to describe it, but there's this massive set and the Omen. So it's everything is a lot of pressure. Everything feels really big. And then she's like on the floor in this little screen talking to Tim, which also like wrote it and like was there set as an executive producer, but he was also helping us a lot in every way. And they would be both of them sitting in the floor with that little screen, like talking like if we were kids doing a really, big thing, but at the end of the day it was a play. And so that helped me a lot to understand how passionate she is about what she's doing. And she would come and whisper in my ear, and we would, try the scenes in different ways. Like if no one stopped us, me and Arkasha would be working for 25 hours in a row, you know.
That's
She's
that.
amazing. She's really committed to what she does, and she really fights to keep her vision and, keep these scenes, which are more risky and everything in the scene.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I did see like an interview like with her talking about a specific scene that's in the movie that she fought really hard to keep in. So I'm glad that she was able to keep, some aspect of it in there because, you always want to make sure that you capture the director's true, vision as much as obviously you can. I've seen the movie being marketed as like obviously, I mean, like see it right here too, or the other side, the most terrifying movie of the year. For you,
Yeah.
what makes it so terrifying in your opinion?
I'd say the fact that institutions in power, if corrupted, and they would do anything to maintain their power. That's what truly scares me about this movie. And yeah, I think it's a big thing to talk about this.
It's very relatable to like when you're saying that very relatable to the real world where sometimes, you have horror movies and it's like that can never
Mhm.
happen because it's so supernatural that it's like, that's it's totally make believe, but there's aspects of this where it's like you could see, things like this happening in the real world. So I think that we're able to connect with it a little bit more. So it makes it a little bit more relatable, like overall, would you say?
Exactly.
Working on a film like this where you're dealing with the Antichrist and things like that, was there ever any moments while you were filming on set that you actually got creeped out by anything or
I mean, I got creeped out because obviously there are so many actors putting this energy into this project, especially in one scene in the catacombs. You feel the air is filled with, something, some weird dark vibration is there, and it's real. And we felt that so many times. That's why we need to be joking sometimes as well when they say cut to, bring the energy a little bit lower because yeah, it did feel sacred. It did feel, spooky.
yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame you. And most of it, the film I was talking to actually Nicole earlier today, and most of it was like
Hmm.
filmed in Italy. There was a little bit that like wasn't, but most of it was filmed there, it sounded like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, most of it, most of it. We were 3 months, almost 3 months in Italy, in Rome. So obviously that's an environment to it that's, so religious and so powerful with the Vatican there. So I'd go, to this church, to this other, um, have a mass, like take a mass, or I don't know the expression in English, but just like have the experience to shoot it in such a, important place for the Catholics. I think it added so much to the story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it makes it a lot easier for you guys as actors being in those physical locations and having those sets that just feel so authentic. Where
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, like you work on like a studio and like you shoot on sets there, but yeah, I feel like nothing beats being on a real location and just being in those environments like yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's, sometimes with actors, it's just like the quality of the air or the sound on the wind of that scene or, the smell of that orphanage or like, there's these things you cannot describe and it adds such a quality to the movie. We're so used to studio, like, being on set, like with what you say, with blue and green screens and
Yeah.
such a pleasure to do it in the real world.
Now,
Mm.
Nell Tiger Free, she's playing one of the main characters, Margaret, in the film. What was it like just getting to, work with her on this film and, just like collaborating with her overall?
Well, I mean, a pleasure. She's so inspiring, both as an actress and as a person. She's a natural talent that she'll be able to do anything she wants as an actress, like she just has this, yeah, natural talent. She understands what it is. She does it effortless. It's so beautiful to see that. And, I'm really inspired by her. She's so young. She has her head in the place. She has this goodwill and good heart. She's so generous with everyone on set and outside. I've learned a lot from her. Yeah, she started really young and I've started older. And so it was very beautiful to get to know her and work with her. And she helped me also a lot throughout the movie.
I feel like it's always
And
a good,
yeah, we love each other very much.
yeah, so I feel like it's always like a learning experience, like no matter each project that you work on and just getting to develop some of these, relationships with different actors and directors and stuff like that on the different sets.
Yeah, because you're 3 months away from home. So it's like you're not just leaving your family, your country, your friends to go into an experience that is so deep and so like, overwhelming. You also change and things happen. Life happens when you're shooting. So you're like the people you're filming with becomes your family in a very, very natural way. And so, yeah, it is, we create these really deep bonds.
Yeah, no, it's very important just to kind of get through the things. I mean, even though I'm sure the movie was a lot of fun, like you said, being on the set for that long, it's a long time, away from everything. Is there, anything just to kind of like wrap things up? What are you kind of hoping for, audiences are going to start to get seeing this film, here, at least like in the US starting next week? What are you hoping that audiences take away from the film? Is there anything else that you just want to say to them, before they see the movie as well?
Well, I just hope they enjoy it, but they also question what we talk about in the movie, no? Like they left the theater thinking about these questions that we, put there. And yeah, I just hope they enjoy it and they love it as much as we do.
Well, I think it's something that from, like I said, I'm really excited to see it next week. And yeah, it's one of those, I mean, the horror genre specifically is one of those genres that the fans are
Mm.
so passionate about it. So it's like I'm sure you're going to start seeing stuff pop up on social media, in the coming weeks, just being tagged in different videos and fan art and stuff like that. So I hope you're ready for
Mm.
all that coming your way soon.
I am, of course.
Well, Maria, I just want to say thank you so much again for your time today. It was a pleasure getting to talk to you about the film. I can't wait to check it out. Make sure you guys check out The First Omen, which is hitting theaters here in the US starting next week. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Hi, how are you? I'm Maria Caballero. I play Luz in The First Omen. It's coming in theaters on the 5th of April. And here I am watching pop culture. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, take care.